Have you ever thought about moving to Chandler, Arizona, but then you've also contemplated moving to Queen Creek, Arizona? Well, both of these East Valley gems are great, but your future home, your lifestyle, and even your budget could look totally different depending on which one you choose. However, that's what I'm here for today. For the next couple of minutes, I'll walk you through the population trends, home prices, schools, commute times, and just a little bit of everything that can help you make the right choice. My name is Stephany Cabrales, your local Chandler and Gilbert's realtor, and I love helping people find the right home for them in the East Valley. Now, today I will be laying out the differences between Chandler and Queen Creek. Not really of a pros and cons video, but simply just laying out the differences and similarities that these two beautiful cities have. I mean, to be really honest, both of these places are great. So if you're thinking of moving, upgrading, or even relocating with remote work flexibility, stick around because I hope that by the end of this video, you're able to tell which city feels more like home for you. First, let's talk about numbers. Chandler is one of Arizona's largest cities with around 281 residents in 2023, which is actually up from 276,000 residents that we had in 2020. Now, Chandler is just consistently growing. Chandler is a mature, well-established hub, flourishing with Intel, Wells Fargo, and it leans heavy on tech and healthcare industries. So, when it comes to finding a tech career or a job in tech or in the medical field, be assured that Chandler is where it's at. In fact, one of the most common reasons for people relocating to Chandler is because of job opportunities. So if you're relocating here due to a new job, send me a text and me and my team would be glad to help you get started. Queen Creek, on the other hand, is still booming and expanding, jumping from 59,500 residents in 2020 to around 83,700 in 2024. That's nearly a 40% increase in just a few years. And as we can see, the difference between the residents in Chandler, Arizona and in Queen Creek, Arizona is a huge one, which means that Queen Creek is going to feel a lot more like the brand new small town with people that you'll probably run into when you go to the grocery. But Queen Creek has been growing a lot. We are seeing more and more people that are searching for that far away from the noise suburban lifestyle. And there's been so many new additions to Queen Creek with entertainment, restaurants, new homes, and recreational spaces, making it one of Arizona's fastest growing towns. Now, when it comes to healthcare, Queen Creek doesn't slack. You have easy access to medical institutions like Banner and Dignity Health within about a 15-minute drive depending on where you live in the town. Alright, let's move into something that matters the most, and that is your budget. In Chandler, the average home price is around $553,000, which is down a little, about 2.9% from last year. Now, the median sold price, however, hovers around the $534,000 to $547,000 mark, depending on the size and the location. The good news is that in Chandler, you can find all kinds of home styles, layouts, and price points. You can also find townhomes priced in the mid to high 200s, and you can find mobile homes and older but updated homes as well that are a lot more budget friendly. By the way, homes in Chandler have an average days on market of roughly 45 to 60 days on the market, which lets you know that just because a home has been on the market for some weeks doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a deal from it. I mean, 45 days on the market is quite a lot. So just something to keep in mind. If you want to negotiate on price or closing costs, just make sure you keep an eye on those days on market. Or you can just call me and I can do the work for you. Now, over in Queen Creek, we are seeing that prices are higher and they are still climbing. Now, this is due to the high demand in the area, the fact that the city is growing so much, and also due to new homes. That's right, folks. You'll find a ton of new construction homes when it comes to Queen Creek, which essentially makes for higher home prices. Now, just so you have an idea on price, the median sales price in June was $664,000, which was a 3.8% bump from last year. Now, homes in Queen Creek have an average of 62 days on market before they actually go pending, which is a little bit more than in Chandler. So yes, Queen Creek costs roughly $100,000 to $130,000 more than Chandler for the average single-family home. And that's why you need to reach out to me and my team so we can show you exactly what are some of the best areas to look for and what is within your budget. Next up is schools and community infrastructure. Now, Chandler is served by the Chandler Unified School District, ranked top tier for public schools with a range of an A- rated in elementary, middle, and high schools. Plus, you've got junior colleges like the Chandler Gilbert Community College right in town. Now, Queen Creek is part of the Queen Creek Unified School District. It serves over 10,000 students across multiple campuses, high schools, junior highs, and elementary schools as well. The district is known for strong performance and fast growth. Now, families also love the new parks, the regional trails, and the rapid library and hospital expansions. So if you're raising kids, both communities are excellent. But something to keep in mind is that Queen Creek does feel more suburban, more open spaces, newer schools, and recent growth. Alright, now let's talk a little bit about commute times in daily life. Chandler sits about 22 miles southeast of Phoenix, directly connected via the I-10 and the Loop 202 and 101 freeways. So those Intel and Wells Fargo commuters might spend about 25 to 40 minutes depending on traffic. In Chandler, you're also less than 10 minutes from major malls, hospitals, restaurants, and entertainment. Now, living in Queen Creek does mean that you will be farther southeast, roughly 35 to 45 minutes from downtown Phoenix. The town is building out South Power Road, Ocotillo, and Ellsworth corridors. Now, most residents of Queen Creek are into the suburban life. The quiet evenings, the ranch-style homes, and the newer things coming into town all the time. The good news is that if you plan on traveling outside of the state, the Mesa Gateway Airport is in fact closer to Queen Creek than it is to Chandler. So, good news is you have an airport nearby in case you're one of those people who love to go out of the state and travel or whatever it is. However, keep in mind that this is a smaller airport and it does run through only one airline, and that is Allegiant. So if your day includes valley-wide commuting or frequent weekend trips to Phoenix, then Chandler offers more of that type of convenience. But if you're remote, prefer more land, and don't mind the extra driving, then Queen Creek may be a good choice for you. Now let's talk about the community and the vibe. Chandler is a diverse, mature, well-built city where you'll have annual events like the Ostrich Festival, big parks like the Tumbleweed and the Veteran Oasis Park. You'll have regular weekend farmers markets, craft breweries, plus you're also tied into an urban-suburban mix feeling with a huge technology backbone. Can't forget about that. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that Chandler does put you in a more centric location compared to Queen Creek, which means it is easier to go on trips to downtown Gilbert, downtown Mesa, or even Scottsdale. Now, Queen Creek feels newer when it comes to community and just a little bit more suburban, just because it is more on that southeast side of the valley. However, you can expect larger lots, upcoming master plan communities, equestrian trails for anyone looking for a horse ride, and there's also the Sound Mountain Regional Park, which is great for hiking. You got the Salt River where you can go canoeing with wild horse viewing, and you also have the Queen Creek Shopping Center. Really, there's just a ton to do in Queen Creek. There's been so many additions into the city that I'm sure you're going to enjoy if you did decide to move and to live in Queen Creek. Now in Queen Creek, you can definitely feel a family-centered vibe. Also, there's still community-oriented events and local festivals in town. Not quite at the density of Chandler, but it's getting there. Now let's talk a little bit about what is ahead for each city. Chandler continues its tech and commercial growth, especially with the expansion of Intel fabs and ongoing business investments that equals stable tax base, rising services, and predictable home values. Now, Queen Creek, by contrast, is just in development hyperdrive, but Pinal and Maricopa counties are pushing residential expansions in the area. LG is actually building a brand new battery factory there, and the Queen Creek Unified School District is adding schools very rapidly. But with growth comes growing pains, road congestion, school capacity, and slower municipal infrastructure. Now, if you want stability with a polished feel, then Chandler is the safer bet. But if you're all about getting in early on that booming town, then Queen Creek may be the best choice. Now, your best pick depends on what matters the most. Are you searching for central convenience, broader price range, and a mature city/neighborhoods? Then go Chandler. Now, if you don't mind paying a little extra, as long as you get that larger lot, newer builds, and continuous growth, then it sounds like Queen Creek could be the golden ticket for you. Now, here are some of my recommendations. Spend a full afternoon visiting Chandler and Queen Creek during rush hours, on the weekends, and even on the evenings. Trust me, you'll find some good comparisons. Also, as a parent, you should be looking into individual school districts. You may not find very favorable school scores or ratings for the Queen Creek Unified School District, but that's just because this is just a newer school district, right? They are both great, but I do recommend that you do your own research on each of these schools. Attend open houses, meet parents and community groups so you can get involved a little bit and get a good feeling of what each of those areas offer for your kids. Another recommendation is to build a true cost comparison using tax rates, utility costs, HOA fees, insurances, and mortgage. Queen Creek homes cost more, but property taxes can vary. And last but not least, I would recommend getting pre-approved before you start your search. A pre-approval plus a local market assessment from your realtor will tell you if you're priced right. Each area negotiates differently and price points differentiate depending on which area you're searching. Now, to wrap it all up, Chandler essentially gives you more convenience, it's more established, it has more established communities, and polished amenities. Queen Creek gives you growth, space, and a chance to shape your town from the early days. Either way, I'm standing by to help you whether you want walkability and entertainment or something more suburban and new. If you're ready to explore listings in either area, then let's get you ready. Again, I will leave my contact information on the screen, so don't hesitate to reach out to me. Oh, and before I go, and if you learned something new today, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so that I can continue bringing you videos like this. Alright, and that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions in the comments below or text me directly, and I'll see you in the next video.